Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of different topics, including Angie Stone's plan to expose at least one person in the music industry for allegedly stealing her music publishing. Also, I'm going to give my commentary on Xscape Sisters, Latasha and Tamika. They are back talking amicably. And I'm glad to hear that, but I do want to go over everything that has transpired. Now, before we get into these topics, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on Angie Stone's Instagram Live, as well as the clips regarding Xscape, are allowed. Okay, so of course, as we all know, Miss Angie Stone passed away yesterday in a fatal car crash. She was only 63 years old. In December, she went live on her Instagram account talking about her publishing being stolen, and she had plans to expose the person who did it. And so when you hear about things like this, it kind of opens the door to conspiracy theories, especially being as though reportedly Angie Stone was the only fatality in yesterday's car crash. I originally saw this Instagram video on YouTuber Storm Monroe's YouTube page yesterday. And ironically, a couple of my subscribers sent this very same Instagram live to me via DM on IG. So I felt like it was meant for me to give my commentary on this entire situation. And she has a caption on the Instagram Live that I'm going to read. I do want to give some context that this again took place in December after she was scheduled to perform here in Detroit. She did not make the show. Raheem Devon replaced her. She was going to perform with Music Soul Child and Marsha Ambrosia. It was definitely going to be an incredible neo soul type of show. And if you're familiar with the term neo soul, that's from the early 2000s to describe, very conscious artists, such as Angie Stone, Music Soul Child, India Irie. At that time, Alicia Keys was considered neo soul, Jill Scott, just to name a few. But in any event, she discovered something, she learned something that really knocked her off her feet, and she did not attend the show. And so now she's getting ready to say what she learned. I'm going to read the caption first. Angie Stone notes, I've just discovered something that's been hidden in the dark for too long. My publishing was stolen. And guess what? I know exactly who did it. But don't get it twisted. I'm coming for you. All the dogs who thought they could take what's mine, trust, I'm ready. Just like Jamie Foxx said, what had happened was, well, now it's my turn to share my testimony. It's a new chapter, and you can bet the truth is coming to light. Stay tuned. And various celebrities, they gave her their support, including I'll Be Sure. Love you, my legendary sis. Great hearing your voice. The OG is here for you. Then I noticed this comment from singer Shaka Khan, and it notes, hey, my sister, I'm here for you. I've lost your number. We need to talk. And her comment reminded me of when the late, great singer Prince used to write the word slave on his face. And that was in relation to how music executives and record labels chose to pay their artists and, them owning the artist masters. When they didn't write the songs, they didn't produce the music, and they for damn sure didn't sing on the records. But let's go ahead and get into Angie Stone's live. I've already watched the part where she's, waiting for more people to come in, and she's saying, shout out to Detroit, she couldn't make the show. So now she's about to say what she discovered just 2 days before she was supposed to fly to Detroit to perform. I'm going to mute my mic so that there is no echo. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
A show. Whew. But God, I'm trying to keep from crying because the devil was very, very, very particular in targeting me. But anyway, I was rushed to the hospital because I wasn't breathing so well. Came to find out I had what was a bacterial blood infection that I had gotten when they stuck me with the needle. It had went into my bloodstream and caused a staph infection of the blood. Now, I didn't have a clue that there was a blood infection until they rushed me into ICU. I went into ICU and I went to use the restroom and I passed out in the restroom. My oxygen went all the way down and rendered me basically unconscious. When I came back to, the nurses began to tell me that I was screaming for Jesus because when I went down, I'm sorry, I didn't know that, I didn't know what was happening. All I know is it was all of a sudden. And I began to praise God and call on his name because I knew biblically that if I was transitioning, I needed to be calling on Jesus. And I need to be calling him by his name. So I began to scream his name. When they brought me to is when they told me I was lucky to be alive because I was on the floor. And sorry. I knew it was an attack. I knew it was a spiritual attack on me. However, I was treated and God healed me. He cleared up. After 2 weeks, solid, they cleared up the blood infection. I'm just here to let you know the only reason I hadn't been on my live and just getting with y'all on this because I had to get postured with God one-on-one. Sometimes God will make you stand still when you're doing the most you can for everyone. He will stand you still so that your complete focus can be on him. God he knew that I was about to come into some things. And as I began to come back to myself completely, I remembered everything that I was working on. I remember the people that were in my immediate circle that were supposed to be there to help me. By the time it was all said and done, the Christmas song had been snatched down. For what reason? I wasn't in a position to really fight that. I had to fight to live. So I couldn't worry about that because I knew that it would take care of itself, but not without the devil trying to blame me for the mishap. Lo and behold, I won't call any names, but people quit on me because they thought it was me. Like I said, I can't call any names because I'm not that vicious. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I really don't want it to be their downfall. But I will tell you, people left me in that dark, dark moment when I really needed support. My kids were there for me. My true friends were there for me because they knew this is serious. They thought that blood infection would have damaged my heart, so I went into a lot of testing to make sure there was not heart scarring. Lo and behold, all of that came out fine. I was not scarred by the heart, thank God. But the staph infection was supposed to scar the heart and the lungs, and it cleared up, thank God. So I just wanted to be transparent with you all because I don't always have it all the way together. But I'm a hard worker. You know, I play hardball, but I love twice as hard. And because I do love my fans, and especially shout out to Raheem Devon, who got on the stage in Detroit that night in my place, and he had the entire audience say, "Get well soon." He called me, "Sis, what's going on?" And when he found out, he said, "I got you." So I owe you one, bro. I owe you one. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, was as I was coming through all of this, I soon found out that one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot, excuse me, guys, a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that to some degree supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, you know, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research. Angie Stone, the celebrity, that I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to step up and go in and do everything that I needed to do for my family, which is why I worked so hard, which is why I traveled so much, which is why I did shows, because at the end of the day, after 40 something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing presenting me improperly, stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. And even though they were taking care of themselves, they thought very little of taking care of me. And I know because I've seen it with my own eyes. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? Or my problem? Oh, yeah. So you got to get a diesel crew, and I call them a diesel crew, to go in and rectify the issue, because evidently all the time that I've been working through things, they didn't get. I'll tell them on my live, please. Okay. Give it to me. Give me your phone. I'm sorry. So just to be clear, I can't say it over live. Give me your phone. I just want everybody, come on, Journey, I'm on the line. My granddaughter trying to help me, and she's slow as Christmas. Your thing went off. Anyway, go get from Shayna. Yeah. So with that being said, shout out to Van Silk. I know you didn't know this was coming, but I had to be transparent. I would try to take as many questions as I can. Let me see. Universal Music, call me. Keys join. Kathy Smith smiles. Yes, sis, get your diesel crew and go tear that. Okay. Yes, I plan on doing that. The music industry is horrible when they tell you that, it's not a straight line. I've been one to kind of play fair. I stay out of harm's way. I can't avoid trouble always, because I'll tell you this, no matter who we hook up with and how we hook up, they're always going to make it confrontational when it doesn't suit their liking. But I don't care about that. I got to pass all of that. But everybody that works hard for 50 years should be able to retire in peace, should be able to sit back without looking for your money. So I got a team of people, a diesel crew, that's really trying to help me navigate things. And if I never get it, at least you heard it from me, because I don't know what they might do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me. Okay? All the money they owe me. It's ridiculous that someone has played with my life and my career for this long, for their own benefit. I mean, have you no conscience? There's a special place in hell, just like my girl Selena said, for people like that. There's a brick wall waiting out there for hard heads. And I promise you, God said, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. So even in this hour, I'm going to pray for you, because I know that God said that he will fight my battles if I will just endure to the end. So I'm definitely going to get that. And I don't want nobody to be upset with me. I don't care what they think about me. I just want people to know that when you get in this industry, there are so many twists and turns. And even though you have the Almighty God with you, they still gonna try you. Because just because I believe in God don't mean they believe in God. They don't believe in God. So they think I'm a fool and a bunch of other people because we love her, we give her, we go, but it don't mean we stupid. Okay? Well, on that note, look, guys, I'm going to take a break. I just wanted to share with you guys. If you got any questions, let me see. Are you open to working with new producer? Absolutely. I got a project I'm working on right now. And I'm just in a good way because with having a number one single. Oh Lord, did I do something?
Oh, you flipped it right there.
Take it back. With having a new single that's climbing up the charts at number one territorial wise, I really think I'm back. And now they're gonna make me go in like a turbo boost. I'm a beast. The next album, you ain't gonna be able to handle it because now that I have my capacity to breathe and do everything, I'm going in the studio with a vengeance. And I can surely tell you, we've already got the title of the album worked out, and I'm going to try to have it done by the end of January, if not before. But it's going to be a beast. I'm going to, I had to remember how dope I was back in the day when we did Black Diamond, we did Mahogany. So I'm going back to that, Angie, because that was the one that told it like it was. And so now I see I'm posturing in a position where I got to tell it like it is. And that's why I'm telling on Universal and all the people that y'all work with me. Y'all know who you are. You've been spotted. You've been seen. Your worth is useless to me now because I've seen the data. That's all I'm going to say. And I hope to God you enjoyed spending every dime you took because you're going to give it back one of these days. All right. On that note, here's wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now, when I get back on here later on today, all I'm doing is allowing you guys to know that the products that I told you we would have for Thanksgiving, we're ready to roll out. So we can actually start sending packages out. I'm going to start bringing some of the merch to my live shows where you can purchase, take a picture with me, that kind of stuff. But now I'm finna go all the way in. All right. So on that note, thank you so much for listening to my testimony and keeping me lifted. I am still here. The devil did not take my life. And God spared me and gave me the extra time I needed to get y'all straight. All right, look for some new horizons for Angie Stone. I'll tell you this one thing. I'm doing some stuff with my brother Montel Jordan that you're going to love. Can't give the secret away right now, but it's coming. There's a lot of things happening. There's a big movie on the table that because of that blood infection now, I know that I can pull it off because God is taking that away from me. So I'm just telling you guys that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we can't be somewhere because that's God's strategy. Shout out to Jamie Foxx for his new live comedy. Oh my God. And what was it? And what it was, how it was, what had happened was, and that's my story. He and I born a day apart. So just like Jamie Foxx, I'm here to tell you what had happened was. Okay? Shout out to Jamie and his family for just standing in the gap for him. I'm not the only one, and neither is he. Y'all be blessed until the next session. Peace and blessings. Like I said, if I don't answer your questions here, I'll go in the backlog and I'll respond. I'll try to reply in the next hour. This is Miss Tiff's Unlimited LLC. I love you more. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So on that note, y'all, I'm out the door. I'll talk to you shortly, okay? Thank you. Mhm. The people that were in my
Okay, so you all heard Angie Stone. She talked about overcoming a blood infection, as well as she discovered that there was some stolen music publishing, and it sounds like she was definitely devastated. And she was saying she called out the record label, and this is all alleged, Mr. or Mrs. Universal Music Group. She called out the record label. She held on to names, but she did call out the record label, and she was ready to make sure that they compensated her, because she said, this is a part of my legacy for my children and grandchildren. And then, not even 3 months later, just under 2.5 months later, she is gone. So, for people who really get into conspiracy theories, you watch Storm Monroe, you may watch Nor Jasmine. Nor Jasmine does like documentaries on scandals, but her channel is great. And I believe my moderator really put me onto her. And or you may go over onto TikTok and watch conspiracy theory videos. But you just kind of wonder, did they see her Instagram live? Any record label executives? That would be very, very cruel, really heartless and dark to purposely, try to take this woman out. But there are so many similar conspiracy theories regarding people who are no longer here, or there was the attempt, so I just want to throw that out there. And again, I hope nothing was done intentionally. I'm sure the crash is being investigated. So maybe in the coming weeks, we'll find out more, because my cousin and I were texting and she was wondering, were the roads icy? She lives in the north like myself. And I text her back. I said, well, she was in Alabama. And I mean, Melody was just outside grilling. So I said, I don't think that the roads were icy. She was in the South. I said, the only thing that I can think of is perhaps the driver fell asleep, especially if her and her band, they just got in the van and started traveling right after the show. So they played and performed for a few hours already. Then they immediately got back on the road, and the driver had been driving all night. The only thing I can think of is that perhaps they fell asleep or hit some debris, but that would be a really hard impact if it was just debris in the road or an animal. I'm guessing perhaps the driver fell asleep and then they somehow flipped over 3 times before an 18-wheeler hit them. But again, rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone. Now, yesterday, if you follow singer I'll Be Sure on his Instagram, he posted his tribute to Angie Stone. And he talked about, he shared, quote unquote, shared their text thread just from last week, the last time that they spoke. But most people screenshot the text thread and then upload it to their social media as like pictures. But I'll Be Sure, what he did, he actually typed it out in his comment section. And that's why I didn't really take it serious. So if we were to go to I'll Be Sure's Instagram, let's go ahead. Here it is. So I just want to show you all how it looks, because it looks a little funky in my opinion. So this is his tribute to her. And he talks about sharing the text thread. I can't really gather my own thoughts at the moment to say anything close to describing the profoundly brave and amazing woman my sister, Angie Stone, was. So I'll just let Angie say it to you all in our last text to each other last week. And then he typed it out. And he's letting us know in parentheses who the person is that's talking. This is Angie Stone. Now, it's his business if he did not want to share with us the text thread via screenshots, but that adds to the credibility. And for me, I'm just speaking for me, this kind of takes away from the credibility you just typing it out. But then, in this conversation, there's mention of her needing some sort of transplant. And there's no mention if it's like for a kidney or what specifically, what type of organ. And then they're talking about Diddy without saying his name. But I just wish it was in the form of the screenshots from the actual text to give it some validity. But what do you all think about Angie Stone's Instagram Live and her mentioning Universal Music Group right out and saying that her music publishing was stolen? And again, Universal Music Group, I am just giving commentary on what Angie Stone said. But let's go ahead and move on. We're going to get into Xscape. So I want to move on to that story and shout out to the Neighborhood Talk because they have this story. And I love how when there's an update, the Neighborhood Talk will combine all of the different parts of the story that we've seen thus far so that it's all in one story. So I'm going to click out of it so that you all can hear it from the beginning. So you all know about the drama with the Xscape sisters, Tasha and Tamika. They hadn't been talking for a while after the group confronted LaTasha about allegedly a few different alleged scams. One was Tasha's husband, Rocky, was getting kickbacks for every show that he booked as long as all 4 members of Xscape showed up. We saw that in the very last episode of the Queens of R&B show. LaTasha tried to deny it, and they had receipts where a concert promoter told them about what Rocky was doing. He was demanding extra money, a kickback, if he could get all 4 ladies to perform. And he was even doing this during Carnival 19. So there were shows where he was mad that he did not get the kickback if some of the members had the Carnival 19. Then there is the alleged $30,000 that they took that belonged to Tamika. When Tiny's mom set up Xscape's music to be on a particular streaming platform, and Tasha and Rocky, they actually filled out the direct deposit info, if you will, of how Tamika would get paid, giving that streaming platform Tasha and Rocky's bank account number and routing number so that the money would go to them. So really, really bad business and between family. So sad, so pathetic. So the latest update is Tamika has confirmed that Tasha has confirmed that she and Tamika are back talking and it's just about their sisterhood. And this all came about this week when Tasha did the Residual Challenge. Residuals is a song by Chris Brown. And in the song, she rewrote the lyrics talking about allegedly getting put out of the Xscape group and wanting her sisterhood back with her sister Tamika. And after she came out with the Residuals Challenge song, both Tamika and Candy said that they did not kick her out of the group. But let's go ahead and listen to Tasha talk. I will mute my mic again and play so that there's no echo. Please hit the like button.
It was a really good talk. Okay. Yeah. Did she tell you like she thought this was kind of like a marketing ploy? And did she tell you about that?
We didn't even talk about that. We talked about our sisterhood, and that's all I really wanted. I didn't want to talk about the business and nothing else, and that's what we did.
Okay.
It was a really good talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she tell you like she thought this was kind of like a marketing ploy? And did she tell you about that?
We didn't even talk about that. We talked about our sisterhood, and that's all I really wanted. I didn't want to talk about the business and nothing else, and that's what we did. Okay. It was a really good talk.
Okay.
I'm good.
So tell me what your reaction is to this, because I called you. I was happy. I was like, everything finna be worked out. And you said,
you know what? My sister's voice is undeniable. You know what I mean? I always said that she was my favorite singer. She's going to always be my favorite singer. She
Yes.
definitely ate vocally,
Yes.
but in real life, I think it's a genius marketing strategy for her new music. It really is. We haven't, talked. She hasn't called me. My number's the same. The address the same. So if this is real, sis, pull up. I'm cooking now. Pull up. Let's do breakfast. Because the last time I saw her at a family function, I was on the dance floor jamming. Her and my mom walked in, and when they saw me, they walked out. And that kind of shocked me a little bit because I felt like that was the proper. I feel like, we around family.
Time.
And if any type of reconciliation, I felt like if she probably walked up to me, I probably would have just fell in her arms crying. But her, I'm good.
So tell me what your reaction is to this, because I called you. I was happy. I was like, everything finna be worked out. And you said,
you know what? My sister's voice is undeniable. I always said that she was my favorite singer. She's going to always be my favorite singer. She definitely ate vocally.
Yes.
But in real life, I think it's a genius marketing strategy for her new music. It really is. We haven't, talked. She hasn't called me. My number's the same. The address the same. So if this is real, sis, pull up. I'm cooking now. Pull up. Let's do breakfast. Because the last time I saw her at a family function, I was on the dance floor jamming. Her and my mom walked in, and when they saw me, they walked out. And that kind of shocked me a little bit because I felt like that was the proper. I feel like, we around family.
Time.
And if any type of reconciliation, I felt like if she probably walked up to me, I probably would have just fell in her arms crying. But her, I'm good.
Okay, so I wanted to give a quick commentary on that part. So Tamika is saying that Tasha and Rocky are still very much so together. That was how I felt when I heard Tasha's residual song. I do not believe that she is separated from Rocky. That is what she wants her Xscape members to believe, and that is what she wants us Xscape fans to believe. Because I know I have felt like she has been brainwashed by her husband. And this is just my opinion, Rocky. But I feel like she has been brainwashed and she is male identified. Her self-esteem is rooted in her having a man and having that man. And I think that she feels like she just can't be happy without him, unfortunately. Do I know Latasha Scott personally? No, of course not. But from the way they move, and the things that we've been told, allegedly, it seems like she doesn't have the strength to try and live life solo and be healthy and happy just the same. So I believe Tamika when she says that they are very much so still together. And she felt like Tasha doing the residuals challenge was great marketing, but not really real. And I think Latasha Scott, I always felt like she had this strong desire to be a very successful solo artist. I don't think she's fully satisfied or happy when she's performing with Xscape anyway. But because there is this struggle to make it as a solo artist, she keeps returning to Xscape, but I don't think her heart is with them. Now, I believe that's why she turned to gospel music. I think she figured, let me try a different genre to try and make it. The problem with that is that a mistress of her husband's came out and, he was accused of basically committing fraud concerning the group Xscape. And to try and combat some of these things, particularly with the mistress who was interviewed by Tasha K, Tasha Scott says, oh, we have an open marriage. She said that right around the time her gospel music was coming out. And people were saying, since when does open marriage and gospel music go together? It was such a disaster. So it is hard to take Tasha Scott seriously. But I feel like her desire really is to be a successful singer, solo artist. Her heart is not really with Xscape, but that is what she keeps trying to force. So I'm going to mute my mic again, and we'll just play all the other slides that have happened this week as well.
Mom, they walked out. So listen, my number is the same, my address is the same. Sis, pull up. Let's talk about these residuals. If this is, you know what I'm saying, real, let's talk about the residuals. But it's definitely a great marketing strategy for her new music that's coming out. And she sounds amazing.
She does sound amazing.
Oh
And when
my
she
God.
talked about the residuals, I thought she was talking about what we learned on the show when Rocky had changed the check and took your money or something like that.
Yeah. I thought that too. And I felt it into the end. And it's like, at first my heart was like, oh my gosh, she's singing to me. And at the very end, the way she looked at the camera, like, huh. And I was like, okay.
Oh, this is something else.
Yeah.
Dang,
I felt it into the end. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, just call me. And if she's listening, sis, you got my number. You got my number. You got my address. Pull up. Let's sit down. I'll cook you a good meal. I throw down. Let's sit down.
Right.
Let's talk about these residuals.
Maybe we can arrange our spirit.
My mom, they walked out. So listen, my number is the same. My address is the same. Sis, pull up. Let's talk about these residuals. If this is, you know what I'm saying, real, let's talk about the residuals. But it's definitely a great marketing strategy for her new music that's coming out. And she sounds amazing.
She does sound amazing.
Oh
and when she talked about the residuals, I thought she was talking about what we learned on the show when Rocky had changed the check and took your money or something like that.
Yeah. I thought that too. And I felt it into the end. And it's like, at first my heart was like, oh my gosh, she's singing to me. And at the very end, the way she looked at the camera, like, huh. And I was like, okay.
Oh, this is something else.
Yeah.
Dang,
I felt it into the end. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, just call me. And if she's listening, sis, you got my number. You got my number. You got my address. Pull up. Let's sit down. I'll cook you a good meal. I throw down. Let's sit down.
Right.
Let's talk about these residuals.
Maybe we can arrange our spirit.
My mom, they walked out. So
meet up with y'all, have a conversation. You know, the therapist that's right there. She's always available and have helped a lot of families come back together. You know, just a good, but what you say, Brett?
I was gonna say I don't even think Tamika need that. I just feel like Tamika feel like if Tasha was ready to reconcile or fix it, she ready. Like she said, she would have fell into her arms, but they left. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so happy because I thought this was bringing them back together when she did this. I didn't even think about it being for her new music that was coming out. I just thought she was pouring her heart out, you know?
Yeah. Well, Tamika, you think since tomorrow's the last day of Black History Month, she might call the last day?
Hey, my phone is on and she called. I would love to talk to her. The last time, before she changed her number, the last time I heard about the rumors and stuff, I was like, sis, forget what we're going through. I love you. We're going to get through this. I got cussed out. So, and then me and her started going back and forth on the text. And I was like, you know what?
Just forget it.
Meet up with y'all, have a conversation. You know, the therapist that's right there. She's always available and have helped a lot of families come back together. You know, just a good,
but
what you say, Brett?
I was gonna say I don't even think Tamika need that. I just feel like Tamika feel like if Tasha was ready to reconcile or fix it, she ready. Like she said, she would have fell into her arms, but they left. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so happy because I thought this was bringing them back together when she did this. I didn't even think about it being for her new music that was coming out. I just thought she was pouring her heart out, you know?
Yeah. Well, Tamika, you think since tomorrow's the last day of Black History Month, she might call the last day?
Hey, my phone is on and she called. I would love to talk to her. The last time, before she changed her number, the last time I heard about the rumors and stuff, I was like, sis, forget what we're going through. I love you. We're going to get through this. I got cussed out. So, and then me and her started going back and forth on the text. And I was like, you know what?
Just forget it.
Meet up with y'all, have a conversation.
But at the end of the day, I love you. I love you and I'm praying for you. And I'm praying for her. I'm definitely praying for her mental. I'm praying for her. And I love my sister. Hands down. Y'all know I've always protected her.
Oh, yeah, we know.
And I will continue to protect her. Can't nobody say nothing about her to me. I love her. She ate on this Chris Brown challenge.
She ate. Oh my God. She killed it. I never heard a girl doing it. She killed it. She absolutely killed it. Well, we're going to keep both of y'all in our prayers, man. We love both of y'all, man. Absolutely.
In front of her house the other day. They ain't broke up. I wish that was true.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
She said they ain't broke up.
Like, yeah, I had some friends call and say, he was jogging in front of the house the other day. And I was like, well, it's cool, but let's just pray for her mental and just pray that we can get this back together. And, thank y'all so much for y'all love and y'all support. Y'all always support us.
We love y'all.
Oh, yeah, we love y'all for real.
Love y'all so much.
Oh man, that's good stuff right there. But thank you, Brad. Appreciate that. All
Yeah,
right,
man,
y'all.
that's family.
But at the end of the day, I love you. I love you, and I'm praying for you.
Is this on?
Okay, so I knew I couldn't play the music, but that is what happened. And Tamika was saying they are still together. And in the residual song, Tasha is talking about getting kicked out of the group and wanting to reconnect with her sister and saying that she left her husband, that they are separated. So we have to see what happens if she will rejoin the group Xscape even after their successful tour last summer. They are still doing shows. I want to say in just like the other week, they were just in Florida, I believe, and or California. So they definitely still do shows. And if Tasha rejoins, then, that could mean her husband and him trying to get his cut. So they would have to have really strict business boundaries to just ensure that they do not get, scammed, allegedly. And hopefully they will give Tamika her $30,000 or at least set up a payment plan. All right. So, what did you all think of the Xscape sisters, Tasha and Tamika, speaking again? And also, if you saw Candy's clip where she was interviewed about it, she said they do need to talk and work things out, but we did not put her out. And it was probably a matter of, as long as Rocky is involved in the business side, we're not dealing with him. It's probably a matter of they didn't really put Tasha out, but they said, we're not effing with Rocky on the business end. And Tasha probably said, well, if you're not going to deal with my husband, you're not going to deal with me. But she's trying to spin it to get us, the public, to believe that the other three members of Xscape put her out. But I don't think being in a group is where Tasha's heart is anyway. But I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Shows Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. I hope that your Sunday morning is off to a great start. I hope you all have a great day. This is usually my day where I'll go to the gym and then go to the grocery store and maybe meal prep or do something for the work week and just deal with, starting another work week mentally. It always feels like a mountain that I'm climbing each day. But really, I know the best thing to do is just to take it one day at a time. So I will talk with you all soon. Bye.